Goldman, and I'm proud to be a co-host of this show. The two gentlemen that I'm about ready to introduce to you, as I say every week, are amazing with what they do and the way they help veterans. Being a veteran and coming back after experiencing what military personnel do experience in today's world, are coming back and trying to find work or trying to find a home and dealing with the real estate process. I mean, we all know dealing with the Veterans Administration at times can be frustrating. And what Brian and Michael do is take that frustration away and help many active service personnel, female, male, and also veterans find homes, get them financed, and be able to what we like to call the American dream. So I would like to introduce to you Michael Aharoni and Brian Goldman.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Thanks a lot, Eric. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Good afternoon.
It's a good afternoon to you.
Yes, finally warm out.
It is. Beautiful day, huh?
So what are we, week 6 now, Eric?
Yeah, I think we're at week 6. I'm pretty
Think we're going to get it right yet? It's still practicing,
We're
right?
Michael will help you.
Okay.
Listen, we haven't really even started marketing this, and we've been getting great viewership.
Yes,
Yeah, great response.
No, we
Thanks.
actually have. I spoke to
Thanks to you.
I spoke to the people at Armed Forces Radio. They got really excited about hearing about this. Anything with regards to veterans and things that people are doing that is not selfish. There's a lot of people out there that are doing things for their own self-gain. And when they hear things like what you're doing, you're yes, you're providing a service, but it's a much-needed service. I got that VA certificate in the mail that said what I was eligible for a VA loan. And you look at that and you go, wow, okay, now what?
Yep.
And you guys, I mean, Mike, you're first off, you're an amazing realtor, all right? You know your business, and you take this so seriously. And Brian, an amazing attorney, and your wife, of course, an amazing attorney. So, am I right on that? Yeah.
You're definitely right about
See
that.
that?
Your wife is an amazing attorney.
Yeah,
That's true.
I just want to make sure if she was listening.
I think she is.
There you go.
Listen, we have an awesome show today. I'm very, very excited to have our guests on today. For those of you tuning in or listening or watching, for that matter, you can go to veteransentertainmenttalkshow.com or check us out on Facebook if you are friends with Eric, myself, or Brian, as we are streaming this live. Today we have Gail King and Shelly Cohen on. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Here's another guest that we have on that I'm speechless about. I've known them for many years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Right?
Definitely.
And
Absolutely.
they are like second family to me, truly. And I don't just say that. And the reason why we have them on, and I'll have Brian start off the interrogation.
Whoa.
Do you have your papers?
All right? The reason why we have them on is twofold. For all those veterans and active military families out there, or anybody listening, the inspiration that you're going to get from hearing Gail King is truly second to none.
I gotta let you know, Jerry Wayne Harding from Texas. I know Jerry, the band Hennessy. He's a very, very popular band down there. He says helping veterans is an amazing thing that you guys do. And so we're being, right now, say hi to Texas, guys. Say hi to Texas.
Howdy.
Hi,
y'all.
Hello, Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas. Right, Jerry?
That's,
Jerry, thanks for listening.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks. But as I was saying, Gail King is a true inspiration. After you hear her story and what she's gone through, and Shelly Cohen being a veteran himself, even though he thinks he may not be a veteran, he truly is one. And like I said, a second father to me. And,
Absolutely.
And he has helped me more times than I could possibly imagine. So
Moral support. You really
I appreciate
you cut
that.
yourself short. I mean, because
Exactly.
the things that we do for you is just it's just like putting the boat in the water. I mean, the things that you've done for people, not just in veterans, even before you got into this whole veterans thing, and it's just that's your moral compass.
I appreciate that.
And you can't teach people to be nice
That
to
comes from
people
within.
and to help people.
That means a lot.
Yeah, and that's why you're like a son to me, and that's why I
that-
tolerate all your nonsense when I get the phone calls, and they're like like one-word text messages and two-sentence calls. So
I got to keep you young.
yeah,
I got to keep you young. A little.
And just one other thing,
Please.
Eric, we've got some past history with Eric. We know all what Eric does, and he's amazing with the veterans
Thank you.
too. I know that he lives his life for causes, and that's, I thank you for that too, Eric.
Thank you, Shelly.
We're so
Appreciate it.
proud to have Eric working with us, and,
Yeah.
and that we're working with him, really. He's an inspiration and a
Thank you.
major asset
Absolutely.
to Veterans Entertainment Talk Show.
Thank you, guys.
That
And
is.
I'm honored
Thank
to
you.
be here, and the topic so dear to all of our hearts, and the fact that you're dedicating shows to this
Yeah.
speaks volumes.
Right. No, and I appreciate that. Let's just dive right in, because this is an hour. This
Let's
is an
take a
hour,
dump.
right? This is an hour show, and both of them together have such an amazing story. Let's talk about Gail King first. Let me tell you a little bit about her from the postcard that I've received here, and then I'll have my co-host take over. She is a former teacher. She is a TV talk show host and a red carpet interviewer. She was Miss Senior America 2009. That's huge. She's also a breast cancer survivor and does a lot for breast cancer, so that's huge as well. She can be found, she has her own TV show called Gail King, Making a Difference with Gail King.
Looking to make a
Looking
difference.
to make a difference with Gail King. My apologies.
Fine.
And you can take a look at her at GailKingTV.com. That's GailKingTV.com. I can't speak today, Brian.
You can't spell either.
I can't spell either. So, without further ado, take on. There's so much more about her, but I'm going to try to get.
In addition to that, you can always find me on Facebook. It's Gail King, Gail M. King, Gail Margaret King, Looking to Make a Difference, Lightning Star Entertainment, and I do answer everybody. It
Yes.
might take me a little time, but if you have interest enough to write to me, I will certainly find the time to
And
answer.
if you're one of my 234 friends on Facebook, you can reach me at Shelly Cohen on Facebook.
That's
You know.
awesome.
Well, Gail,
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
I've met you a few times. So why don't you start off with your story? Tell us about you. Tell us where you came from, how you got where you are, because your story is truly inspirational.
Thank you. One does never see something as inspirational, because if you are given certain things in life, you expect that you're going to try to handle them. We all make mistakes, but fortunately, and that's a big lesson, we have to learn from our mistakes. To repeat the same thing is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
So we do have to learn from it. I was born on Long Island. My big goal in life was to become a teacher. That's what I wanted to do. And the other aspect is that I'd wanted to be on TV. And in the old days, we had a TV set. And when I saw children, Mickey Mouse Club on TV, I would say to my
still
dad,
watches that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
want
but
to
that's
be
the new version. We're
the-
talking
yeah,
the
old
original
one,
here.
Left Unicello,
Right.
Beach Bingo. But I'd say, I could do that. And my dad said, simple, you want to be on TV? Put you on TV. And I was thrilled. He picked me up and put me on the TV set. And that's how I got on TV. But I always knew that the two were entwined somehow. So when I stood in front of a classroom teaching high school and college English, that is the toughest audience you could ever imagine. Keep their attention span, keep things moving. And I do a lot of research because I know that I need to be informed. People know it right away if they're not. So I went from there, and when I retired, I was crestfallen. Now what do? Well, I'll read books. I went to Northport, sat by the water, which I absolutely love because I'm a nature lover, and thought there's got to be more to this. Did volunteer work in hospitals, Huntington Hospital, Good Samaritan Hospital, AIDS patients, etc., emergency room. And then a doctor had shown me an article from Newsday that talked about the Miss New York Senior America pageant. And I thought, try it, have some fun, and I'll write about it, which I did for More Magazine later on. Believe me, guys, never expected to win. I was not a pageant woman. I went locally. My gown was under $100. I didn't really know what it would, entail. I told Shelly about it, and when I made the finals before they actually had the competition for Miss New York Senior America, he went with me. And as I walked in, I saw women who were just amazingly talented, professional dancers, singers, etc. And I said to Shelly, nobody will even notice. There's the exit. They don't know me. I'll just walk through. I truly was intimidated. And Shelly, do you remember what you said to me, which totally stopped me in my tracks? and it stayed with me for the next 10 years.
Absolutely. I told her that to get back in there, I said, because the dignity is trying, not winning.
That did it for me. That
And
did it.
then the
That's
director.
inspiration in itself.
Isn't
Yeah.
that beautiful? It's the dignity of trying. You might fail at something. You might make a mistake. But you pick yourself up and you try. How will you ever know? You need to step outside the box and try new things. So I did. And I must say that my dancing wasn't too good. If you go on YouTube to the first dance, I laugh at it. But somehow I won the New York pageant. It was, you have your evening gown modeling, you have your speech, and you have talent and an interview. And I said, okay, let me put you this way. There were so many talented, incredible women. My mother left before the end because when she heard fourth runner-up, third runner-up, she didn't think I'd win. She was gone. They
She was
announced
gone
me.
before they announced the
Yes,
winner.
I had to call her up and say, guess what, Mom, I won. So after I did win, I thought that was it. Picture a Newsday, you get flowers, and
That's
then laugh because they said, no, now you're in the competition for the whole United States. So Shelly had mentioned Vic D'Amour, whom we
Yeah.
knew very well, was a ballet studio on Long Island. I enrolled with 15-year-olds because that was the only adult class they had, and they were wonderful. They helped me tremendously. I believe that if you're going to do something, you give it your heart. Okay, if you don't make it, it's okay, but you've given it everything that you can. That's what makes us special.
Yeah.
That's what makes us unique.
And that's what our military does. They give their heart.
Exactly. They give all of themselves to it. So I practiced 3 or 4 hours a day. My feet were bleeding because I had to step up my game. In addition to that, like those who have served their country, who are representing America, I now felt, can't compare it to guys at all and women, not at all. But I did have to represent New York. So now I'm going to go in this whole American pageant. And then, Shelly, you could take it from there, because we've had some fun incidents that took place.
Yeah, that was, Gail, one of the secrets to Gail's success is she's blind. She can't see the audience. When she's performing or she's speaking, she spoke in front of 14,000 people in Eisenhower Park
So true.
at a concert, and they said, doesn't the crowd intimidate you? And she said, I can't see
I
the
can't
crowd.
see the camera. Look
But-
how-
That's truly amazing.
Yeah,
you don't let anything stop you. There's no fear.
No, there
And
isn't
that's-
really.
But the thing is with Gail is that Gail only knows one way and one way only, and that's forward. Once she decides, it takes her a while to decide to do it, but once she decides to do it, it's full force all the way. And to get back to her teaching experience, our show, Looking to Make a Difference with Gail, is very successful because Gail treats each show like a lesson plan from her teaching experience.
I've been on the show.
The research, the hours and hours. I mean, I have an attention span of about 8.5 seconds. So I read something,
So funny.
and that's the end of that. But Gail could sit there and read and retain everything. So the lesson plan is the research. The day of the show is the class. And I don't think if anyone that's seen our show, not one guest, not one single guest has ever not said to Gail at one point, how did you know that about me?
No, she does a lot of research.
For that, it's because I respect the people who come on. And I think that you have to know who they are. And that's the highest compliment one can give for another person, to know what you do.
In our show, as you know, we have various themes of our show. Because Gail ran on the Senior America platform as a breast cancer survivor and became a motivational speaker across the country for breast cancer awareness.
To share our imperfections, because that's what makes us perfect.
She spoke in front of Vanderbilt University Breast Center to a group of survivors. And then we went up into the hills of Mount Joliet, Tennessee, to the Pink Ladies, where there were 100 survivors in a support group that gave Gail a standing ovation. And keep in mind, over 600 appearances, Gail has not taken one single penny.
That's true. That's truly amazing.
So,
But I do
So
have to,
let me-
oh yeah, I want
so
to share something with this boy.
following that,
Yeah,
the themes of our show became 501c3s. So along comes, after we did breast cancer, we did Alzheimer's, and we did,
heroin.
child brain surgery, Veterans Day came about. And we said, well, you know what, let's do something for the veterans. So we did a show on veterans.
Hold that thought, because we're going to jump to commercial. When we get back, I want to discuss about that veteran show and what your show entails for our veterans and that inspiration. Definitely. So we'll be right back after these commercial breaks on veteransentertainmenttalkshow.com.
Let me tell you about Goldman and Mora. They're a proud sponsor of Vets Radio. With over 50 years of combined legal experience, Goldman and Mora offer a wild array of legal services to its clients. Brian Goldman practices in the area of personal injury, real estate, and special education. Brian Goldman also prides himself in working closely with veterans and guiding them step by step through the purchase of their new home. Ellen Mora, I got to get it right. Ellen Mora, exclusively in the field of matrimonial and family law. Goldman and Mora is a proud sponsor of Vets Radio. Goldman and Mora for all of your legal needs. Let me tell you about the law office of James E. Way. Attorney James Way has been providing legal services to the real estate community with dedication to the needs of first-time home buyers, and he's well-versed in all facets of veterans home funding for over 18 years. James will take all of the veterans and their military families from contact to contract to closing. Give James Way a call for all of your real estate needs at 516-487-0100, 516-487-0100. The Center for Integrative and Innovative Therapy, CIIT Center. It is a comprehensive treatment center with numerous services that cater to individual needs of those touched by chronic neurological conditions such as autism, spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, concussion, or chronic conditions like migraine, post-traumatic stress disorder, autoimmune diseases, and so much more. The CIIT Center's mission is to approach each patient as a total entity by enhancing the biomedical, neurological, nutritional, electrical, and immune system of each of their patients to improve their overall quality of life. Let me tell you about the Lerner Agency, located at 71 Glen Cove Road in Greenville. All-state insurance, the Lerner Agency. You're in good hands with the Lerner Agency. Give them a call at 516-621-7400. That's 516-621-7400. Check out your insurance. You never know whether you don't have enough when you're going to need it the most. The Lerner Agency, 516-621-7400. Sell to a Veteran is a nonprofit 501c3 organization based on Long Island that provides U.S. military and veterans families with a much-needed service to enable them to understand and utilize their VA benefits, primarily their VA loan in buying and selling and or refinancing a home. If you're a veteran or an active military serviceman or woman, call Sell to a Veteran today at 888-234-7171. That's 888-234-7171. Headquartered in Great Neck, New York, Magnificent Homes, serving the entire metropolitan area. Magnificent Homes and its staff work daily to educate prospective home buyers and sellers who have served and guide them through the real estate process. If you're looking to sell or purchase a new home, co-op, or condo, contact Magnificent Homes, LLC, at 888-234-7171, 888-234-7171. And now back to Veterans Entertainment Talk Show with Michael Aharoni, Brian Goldman, and myself. I am Eric Martin Kappel.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you,
Welcome
Eric.
back, everybody. I wanted to first give a shout out to Bridget Griffiths and Sean Griffin. Those people are watching us. Those individuals are watching us right now. Thank you to both of them so much for the support.
California. Sean.
Awesome. Thanks
Yeah,
so much,
California.
Sean. Appreciate that.
From sea to shining sea. How do you like that?
Without further ado, I want to jump back because you mentioned something before we went to
Well,
commercial.
so we decided to do a show for Veterans Day on veterans. This was the first show, because we've done several shows on veterans and had several while, but
Definitely.
the first show that we had, we went to Rich Schaefer, who's the supervisor of Babylon, the town supervisor of Babylon, and he's very associated with the veterans, but his councilwoman was Jackie Gordon, who's a lieutenant colonel in the armed service who served 4 tours in Afghanistan. So we went to her, and we got a guy by the name of Greg Bravo, who's the guy is like, we called him Park Ranger Ninja.
I met him. He's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we
Awesome
call,
guy.
it was like he's a former Green Beret and a former Marine MP, and does a whole bunch of other things. But he brought a young man on the show with him, the guy named Patrick LaPointe, who was a Bronze Star winner in Afghanistan. He told a story about how he single-handedly, he saved his squad, 6 people. And it was an amazing story and very inspirational. And that made us really think twice about our lives here. And
What we take for granted.
what a gift, no matter how bad we think our life
Amen
is.
to that.
It's like
There's always somebody worse.
what these people go through for us.
And put on their line for our freedom.
And go through for us. So, and Jackie Gordon, who you met, who's an amazing
woman.
woman.
Fabulous.
And Steve Stern, who is
He's also amazing. He was on our show.
Yeah,
Steve.
we love
Steve
Steve.
is
Love
the
Steve.
chairman of the Suffolk County Veterans Committee.
Right. Done so much.
And we've stayed really in touch with them. So through the show that you're talking about, that Steve authored a bill called the Homeless Heroes Act. And he couldn't make our show that day, so lo and behold, they thought it was so important that Steve Malone took his place on our show. And the act basically, the quote is that no soldier who defends our land should have to sleep on it when he got home.
Right.
It's an amazing act.
It's terrific.
And be
Shelley,
treated
that's
with-
something, that kind of philosophy has been the driving force behind Michael and our whole entry into the veteran marketplace, if you will. We formed Sell to a Veteran specifically for that, to give back to those who have sacrificed for us.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a cliche,
No,
but
it's not.
but
There
for
is
that
nothing
sac-
cliche,
No.
no matter how corny, no matter what you say, there is nothing that could be said about what these that men and women do for
I agree
us.
with you 1,000%. Many times when Michael and I are in the company of veterans, we'll walk up to a veteran and we'll say, thank you for your service. And just this past weekend, I attended the NASA Veterans Memorial Coliseum rededication, and I was talking to a couple of veterans, and I was telling them what we do. And I said, many times people will come up to you and say to you, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And then I tried to explain to him what I meant by it and how sincere I was by it. And I said, a lot of people just say it. He says, look, many people say it. I smile and I just walk away. That's what it was a Vietnam veteran. And he said to me, what you're doing for the veterans is so important, just like what you're talking about. And that's the guiding force.
They also said,
to give back.
even though you didn't physically serve, you're serving now.
Right.
And I really truly believe that. That's what we want to do. As I said, as many people already know that are hearing this. My grandfather was a veteran. I am not an actual veteran, but we're serving right now, and I truly, truly believe that. And speaking of which, and I know we're going off on a little tangent, we'll get back to the show. You yourself are a veteran, and I want to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that you served for about 6 years in the New York State National Guard.
New York Army National Guard, right.
That's service right there, and you should be proud of that. Please tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that was, it's hard for me to compare the New York State Army National Guard service to what the veterans who served time in the Army, well, we were their backup, and we went through all the same training and everything, but, it was 6 months active duty, 2 weeks in the summer, 1 weekend a month of training. And we were, had to be prepared and had to be ready. And it was it was good experience. At the time I was going through it, I really didn't like it. I didn't think it was much of it. But, you keep in mind at that time, with the draft, there was a draft, and everyone was, not only was everyone, and Eric, you can appreciate this, not only was everyone getting drafted our age, but they were all going 11 Bravo, which is infantry. So you had your choice, you had, the National Guard or the Army Reserves or to serve. I chose the National Guard. So it was a good experience. And
Well, I think, wouldn't you agree, though, the fact that you may have not served, in other words, got shipped out,
Deployed.
you still
Yes,
deployed.
he's
You
still-
still served a very important
Right.
function.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you were the backup.
Exactly
It's
right.
funny, as I'm a lawyer, as you know, and when I pick a jury, and I ask the jurors, when I talk to them about the case, and if a case resolves before the jury gets to render a verdict, they say, well, what did we do? We just sat here. And I tell them, no, you've served a purpose.
Right.
You're part of the system. But for you
I like
sitting
that.
here, this
Right.
case wouldn't have come to conclusion. Similarly, in your experience, you're the backbone. You're the backup. And if they needed you, you were ready.
You'll be ready to do it.
So I see you downplay it.
Well,
right.
There's
No,
no
you
reason
do.
to. You.
I
I mean,
know.
I'm
I
proud of
agree.
you,
I agree.
and I've only known you for a short time. You gave of yourself.
Yeah,
Say something.
there was times, our times, was different than today. The Vietnam War, my era was the Vietnam War, and everyone was going over there. It was never declared a war. So people, and as a child of the 60s, in that era of war, I mean, the protests, the forerunners of the protests and protesting against the war and hell no, we won't go, and Muhammad Ali,
Remember that, right.
being a conscientious objector. And the guys that went over there were not revered like the veterans who are revered today. And
That is so true.
and as much as I love our veterans today and we're involved with the veterans, I have a really special place in my heart for the Vietnam veterans because I saw what they went through. And a lot of my friends, I had a dear friend who went over there and, coming from Brooklyn, everyone had nicknames. And his name was Jeff Jacobs, but we knew him as Devil. So Devil would write letters, and back and forth. I wish I kept these letters because they were so meaningful about his experiences over there.
Right.
And he was a radio. First he carried a radio, which is like, in the Vietnam War, the first guys they went to were the radio guys, the
Radio.
communications,
Right,
cut out the
right.
communications. So I said, Devil, do all you can to get rid of that radio. So he writes me back, and he said, I just broke the regiment record in the alligator crawl. And I wrote him back, I said, schmuck. They made him a tunnel rat because he could crawl through the tunnels. And this was the war that they were fighting over there, Punji pits and tunnel rats, and they were never the same. These guys
They
are
come
never
home
the
now.
same.
You can see, as we
They're
mentioned
never the same.
before
Yeah.
air, you can, if you see a group of veterans, and you see the Korean War veterans, you see the Vietnam veterans,
Yeah.
and the veterans from Afghanistan, you can just tell, just by looking at the veterans,
Yeah.
to a large extent, what they went through. Because
Well-
a lot of it is just written
Well-
on their faces.
Well, this is why when you had asked, some of the things that I've been doing, and you gentlemen told me it was inspirational, which, I didn't understand, I'm able to reinvent myself, which is inspirational. I have come on and taken on a new persona, new career, and tried to do it with aplomb and dignity. However, our veterans who came back from Vietnam, they didn't have that same luxury. Many who suffered from PTSD, many who were left homeless, many who were denigrated to what they should have been honored for. So that to me is what was appalling. And I think that's, of course, what so distresses Shelly with seeing our age group, those who served in the 60s. That's not to take away from anybody
No,
ever.
not at all. Not at
serving.
all. The amount of respect and admiration I have for any veteran, I just have an affinity because I lived through that
Yeah, that was our time
war.
period.
One of the most inspirational veterans that we've ever interviewed Captain Leslie Nicole Smith.
Oh, gosh.
Captain Smith reinvented herself as an actress. Now, why is Leslie Nicole so important and so... Leslie Nicole lost her sight and her leg
Wow.
in the war.
Beautiful young
Beautiful,
lady.
What
beautiful.
war?
What is Afghanistan? And she's been on Law and Order. You may have seen her on
she's
the
now
shows.
acting, and she just doesn't let it. The courage. I mean, every day, the courage.
I didn't notice. I saw a big dog. Yeah,
That's truly amazing.
Yeah.
I saw a big dog
Captain
with her.
Leslie
It was
Nicole
for
is
her
somebody that
sight.
you should get in touch with.
And what is she doing? She's an actress now.
She's an actress.
She's
She
an
lives.
actress
She lives
and
down in the
speaker.
Baltimore area.
So she went through the war and she had to acclimate herself back to society, and just like you you went through your own stuff, and you're an inspiration in your own, and all these veterans and active military out there listening to that, that's the key. There is a so-called afterlife or after war in a
Correct.
sense.
What a
And here's the
woman.
other affirmation that many people take with them. Winston Churchill, you must never give up.
That's right.
He was such an inspiration. People revered him. And I don't know if a lot of people know he failed English, former high school teacher of English. He failed that twice. But he was asked to speak at a graduation. People couldn't wait. Here's this stout young man with his cane. He got up on stage, and everybody was hushed. He looked at the audience. They waited. He looked again, and they waited, and he said, "My advice for all of you, you must never give up." He looked at them, put his hat, took his cane, and left. I love it. And that inspired me in overcoming cancer when given 30% chance of survival.
And with that, we're going to shoot back to commercial break.
Stay with us, everyone.
That's a huge point. Never give up. When we get back, we'll talk a little more about the recent show that you've just posted, that you've done here. Once again, we're with Gail King and Shelly Cohen. You can check them out at www.gailkingtv.com or www.lightningstarentertainment.com. We'll be back.
Goldman and Mora, a proud sponsor of Vets Radio. With over 50 years of combined legal experience, Goldman and Mora offers a wide array of legal services to its clients. Brian Goldman practices in the area of personal injury, real estate, and special education. Brian Goldman especially prides himself in working closely with veterans and guiding them step by step through the purchase of their new home. Ellen Mora practices exclusively in the field of matrimonial and family law. Goldman and Mora, proud sponsors of Vets Radio. Goldman and Mora for all of your legal needs. Attorney James Way has been providing over 18 years of service to the real estate community with dedication to the needs of first-time home buyers, and he's well-versed in all facets of veterans' home funding. James will take all of the veterans and their military families from contact to contract to closing. Give James Way a call for all of your real estate needs at 516-487-0100. That's 516-487-0100. The Center for Integrative and Innovative Therapy, CIIT, is a comprehensive treatment center with numerous services that cater to the individual needs of those touched by chronic neurological conditions such as autism spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, concussion, or chronic conditions like migraine, post-traumatic stress disorder, autoimmune diseases, and so much more. The CIIT Center's mission is to approach each patient as a total entity by enhancing the biomedical, neurological, nutritional, electrical, and immune system of each of their patients to improve their overall quality of life. Okay, you're in good hands, as we always say, with Allstate, and you can't be in better hands than Andrew Lerner Agency, 71 Glen Cove Road in Greenville, New York. Give them a call, 516-621-7400. That's 516-621-7400. For all of your insurance needs, the Lerner Agency, Allstate, you're in good hands. 516-621-7400. Sell to a veteran. Sell to a Veteran is a nonprofit 501c3 organization based on Long Island. It provides U.S. military and veterans families with a much-needed service to enable them to understand and utilize their VA benefits, primarily their VA loan, in buying, selling, and or refinancing a home. If you're a veteran or an active military serviceman or woman, call Sell to a Veteran today at 888-234-7171. That's 888-234-7171. Headquartered in Great Neck, New York, Magnificent Homes, serving the entire metropolitan area. Magnificent Homes and its staff work daily to educate prospective home buyers and sellers who have served and guide them through the real estate process. If you're looking to sell or purchase a new home, co-op, or condo, contact Magnificent Homes, LLC at 888-234-7171. And now back to Brian, Michael, and myself with Veterans Entertainment Talk Show.
And we are back.
Boy, this is going so
Very
fast.
Very fast. For time's sake, I want to jump into your most recent show that you posted, and then we're going to talk a little bit about real estate. So if you can.
Like I said, that was a show that we did with Steve Ballone, who spoke about the Homeless Heroes Act. Now,
And who is Steve Ballone for those that are...
Steve Ballone is a Suffolk County executive who probably, Suffolk County, as you know, I don't have to tell you, has the largest number of veterans
Right.
in Long Island, right?
In New York State.
New York State.
New York State.
And Steve Stern, who is the chairman of the Suffolk County Veterans Committee, and I want to give a shout out to his assistant legislator, Sarah Anker of the 6th District, who helps him and equally is active with veterans.
Amazing.
Great woman.
Yeah, and we talked about that Homeless Heroes Act, and also on our show, when Steve was on our show, he talked about that act with the people protesting funerals.
The military.
Right.
The
Yeah.
military
He spoke about that,
funerals,
yeah.
Which is
Shocking.
which no rational thinking human being can
Justify?
so that can justify that. And we even had a show on with animal rights groups who Dory Schofield, who Paws of Rescue. She was the one responsible.
It's beautiful.
In Afghanistan, there was a puppies that a dog had given
From
birth
the
to
war.
puppies from
From
the
the
war,
war.
at the war. And these soldiers took these puppies in and became attached to them, each soldier. So
That's
Dory
nice.
Schofield,
Oh, no,
a
it's
few
war
years
too.
ago,
That's great.
was the one who was responsible for getting these dogs out of Afghanistan and reuniting them,
Bringing them here to the States.
to the soldiers.
You had to see the film, the
which-
pictures
which
of
is
that.
amazing.
That's truly amazing how people
Which
go
is
out
really
of their
amazing.
way and do things.
And I
These
wanted to
well,
also, just briefly, because we're running out of time, and
Yeah.
I know there's so many more things that you guys could talk about all
There's
day.
never enough time in the day.
You know, musicians.
Please,
You know,
yes.
Gail has researched, and we do a lot of research for musicians, and Vince Martell,
From Vanilla Fudge.
who anybody my age,
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably,
you know, right?
you know,
Iconic,
Yeah.
Mention his songs.
You know him, Eric?
Of course, you keep
I know
me-
him. I know Carmine. You know,
You
great,
keep me
yeah.
hanging on.
You keep me
Peppy,
hanging
Peppy,
on,
yeah.
people get ready, but
Yeah, people get ready.
he
Oh.
does a lot of charity
And with
work
Peggy, with
for,
his
for
wife
veterans.
Peg.
Peg Pearl, for veterans, does concerts for veterans, raises money for veterans. You know, we've had Mike Del Judas on our show from Big Shot, who also works
He's
with
very
veterans.
popular near us, yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
wonderful
and-
guy, wonderful.
and,
He's a big-hearted people, because that's the basis of this show. Looking, and of course the name King in it, looking to make a difference with Gail.
And I think
Yeah.
you do, Gail. I think you make a huge
I think
difference.
my guests do.
And I think
I'm the
the
medium.
producer does a lot
Sure,
also.
but we're the medium to bring these guests to the forefront.
it.
First, you identify the problem, you share what the problem has
Mm-hmm,
affected and how so, and then finally, what is it that we can do about it? Because you don't want to leave people with problems.
Yep.
And that's the basis of the show. So we really do encounter from musicians to actors, celebrities, everyday people, anyone who's looking to make a difference.
I got to say that in recent weeks, Linda and my wife had an issue, all right, that Gail has much experience with. And the first person I thought of was Gail King to call. And when I called, I got Shelly on the phone. And without even, it was like, Eric, you call me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whatever it is, whatever Gail can do to help, we'll whatever it is, recommend, talk to your wife. And I told Linda that. Now, if anybody that knows Linda, being a in law enforcement, she's kind of like stone-faced at points in time. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't trust very many people, and she doesn't look to many people for, for advice. She's very taken back like that. As soon as I said to her, that Gail would be willing to talk to her, she opened right up. It was like,
That's
she
awesome.
felt a peace inside knowing that there had been someone else. I mean, a survivor of this, this.
Because Eric, is there anybody in any walk of life, no matter what the problem is, no matter what the situation is, who doesn't feel comfort in knowing that there's somebody out there
Absolutely.
who cares for them,
Absolutely.
that you can go to?
Yep.
If it's just one person, if
Yep.
it's
That's
just
the
one
thing for our
single person.
veterans too. There is help
There is help.
out there. And I know that you gentlemen are going to share some of the areas, some of the venues where one can get
exactly.
help. But please do not feel like you are alone. At the time when something's happening to you, you feel like first probably shock.
Right.
And it can be cancer. It can be coming
be
back from a
anything,
war.
of course.
It can be anything.
PTSD.
It can be, yes. So you feel like you're all alone.
Yep.
But please understand there are hotlines. There are people out there
Yep.
who are trained, who will know what to help you with. And then there are the everyday people who want to help
Exactly.
you.
You make two good points, and I want to pivot off of that.
Sure.
The first thing is being a medium, okay? The medium between the two people. The second thing is having someone out there as your advocate. Both Brian and I do this show for both those reasons. One of them being we are a medium of veterans looking for help.
Right.
There you go. We're being advocates at the same time as this show being a medium. Those veterans and active military families that are out there listening to us, there are people out there like these two individuals, like Brian and I, like the thousands and thousands of organizations and charities and companies that are out there that will help you.
Yeah, and if I can interrupt, there are a lot of people like yourself, like you and Brian. You're not doing this for personal gain. You're
No.
doing it because
Exactly.
You
you
care.
want to.
You care.
And that's the reason when you have a need to want to do something, you can't be anything but successful. And I know a little bit about Sell to a Veteran, and I don't know too much about the other companies, real estate companies that do what you do. I know that the uniqueness in what you do is, in addition to offering the services, any service that it takes to get from point A into the house, you offer services for PTSD, you offer services for medical reasons,
Each
you offer
step
services,
along the way.
how to find things to make their life better.
Without question,
We're almost trying to be like a one-stop shop.
Right.
If you come to us,
we are a veteran and military marketplace, and we focus primarily
No, you are a caring
caring.
veteran.
I thank you.
That's very,
Correct.
that's very important.
And
A lot of
caring.
people, there are
Yeah.
companies out there, and I want
Looking to
our
make
viewers
money.
to understand, lots of people can do lots of things, but they do it with a little something in mind,
course.
personal gain or whatever. These two guys,
Pure
Enough,
heart.
enough.
they do nothing except want to help the veterans, and they live it, they sleep it, they eat it, they breathe it.
They know it.
And I can say the same thing for you. You've been a huge help to us, introducing us to Steve Stern, who's been on our show, Patrick Donnie, who's been on our show. And I truly believe one hand washes the other, as I know my partner here
Patrick's
does
a
as
great
well.
guy. Patrick, you gotta love
Patrick,
the kid.
Patrick's an awesome
Shelley,
guy.
your
Amazing.
introduction to Steve Stern, I
Kicks,
can't
you know.
tell you
Yeah, it was
how
Gail,
important that
really.
was. I'm
It
sorry.
was Gail,
Both
Gail,
Both of
you
you,
know,
I,
Gail,
no,
Gail
but
is,
that
she introduced
changed,
him to me.
that changed our whole manner of operating the Sell to a Veteran
Networking.
program.
We're networking,
Yeah,
really.
I mean, he,
Yeah.
not
From
only
Steve
being on the
Stern,
show-
got to Croce, got to other legislators, got to Phil
Absolutely.
Boyle,
I'll tell you, I was
got to
just gonna
Patrick
say-
Donnie
People out
here.
That's
there
the other
do
guy
not know
that's
where to
gonna
start.
that's
Who's
gonna
that?
help you a lot.
Oh,
Senator Boyle.
Senator Boyle is
He's
an
fabulous.
amazing individual.
Fabulous.
Awesome guy.
Amazing individual. But listen, any veterans and active military that are out there listening, and we're going to go to our last commercial break in a minute. We're here as your medium. We're here as your advocate. We're here to guide you primarily through obtaining and achieving the American dream of homeownership. Yes, we have all our other companies and organizations behind us that will help you in whatever avenue that you may need. But like Shelly, like Gail, use us. We are here for you. This show is for you. And when we get back, we'll talk a little more about with our guests, and we'll wrap it up. Till next, talk to you soon.
Let me tell you about Goldman and Moore. Goldman and Moore, they are a proud sponsor of Vets Radio. With over 50 years of combined legal experience, Goldman and Moore offers a wide array of legal services to its clients. Brian Goldman practices in the area of personal injury, real estate, and special education. Brian Goldman especially prides himself in working closely with veterans and guiding them step by step through the purchase of their new home. Ellen Maurer practices exclusively in the field of matrimonial and family law. Goldman and Moore, a proud sponsor of Vets Radio. Goldman and Moore for all of your legal needs. The law office of James E. Way. James Way has been providing over 18 years of service to the real estate community and dedication to the needs of first-time home buyers. He's well-versed in all facets of veterans home funding. James will take all of the veterans and their military families from contact to contract to closing. Give James Way a call for all of your real estate needs at 516-487-0100. That's 516-487-0100. The Center for Integrative and Innovative Therapy, CIIT Center, is a comprehensive treatment center with numerous services that cater to the individual needs of those touched by chronic neurological conditions such as autism spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, concussion, or chronic conditions like migraine, post-traumatic stress disorder, autoimmune diseases, and so much more. The CIIT Center's mission is to approach each patient as a total entity by enhancing the biomedical, neurological, nutritional, electrical, and immune system of each of their patients to improve the overall quality of life. You're in good hands with Allstate, especially when you're dealing with the Lerner Agency. 516-621-7400. That's 516-621-7400, located at 71 Glen Cove Road in Greenville, New York. The Allstate Agency, Lerner Agency, is where you want to be to make sure that you're paying the right price and you have the right coverage. You never know, and you want to make sure that you are in good hands with Allstate. All right, 516-621-7400. Sell to a Veteran is a nonprofit 501c3 organization based on Long Island that provides U.S. military and veterans families with much-needed services to enable them to understand and utilize their VA benefits, primarily their VA loan, in buying, selling, or refinancing a home. If you're a veteran or an active military serviceman or woman, call Sell to a Veteran today at 888-234-7171. That's 888-234-7171. Headquartered in Great Neck, New York, but serving the entire metropolitan area, Magnificent Homes, LLC. Magnificent Homes and its staff work daily to educate prospective home buyers and sellers who have served and guide them through the real estate process. If you're looking to sell or purchase a new home, co-op, or condo, contact Magnificent Homes, LLC at 888-234-7171. And don't forget about our guest today, Gail King, an amazing talk show host with an amazing partner and producer, Shelly Cohen. You can catch her. She told you the dates and times of her show. I highly recommend Gail King. She's an amazing talk show host, a good friend, and I can't say enough about her. So, you know what? I'll tell you this, you could turn off this station and go over there and listen to Gail for a while. But be sure to come back, okay? Be sure to come back because
you're fired.
Yeah, she really does have a great show. She really,
right?
no, I
She
love.
does.
She really. I mean, she did well with Danny Glover. Remember Danny? I remember when you did Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon. You know, that was great. So
That's awesome. Well, she can be seen on Cablevision Channel 20 on Fridays at 5 p.m. in Suffolk, and Cablevision Channel 115 Mondays 6 p.m. in Nassau, at GailKingTV.com and LightningstarEntertainment.com. I'm assuming that we're back. The commercials were done. We just started, just jump right in.
and now back to Brian Goldman. You know what? That's a sign a sign of a pro. He took matters into his own hands, right? You know.
Once again, if you're watching us or listening to us at www.veteransentertainmenttalkshow.com. And we are live on Facebook, iTunes, we'll be on YouTube and whatnot. Shout out to David Nedlin watching us. He said if I mention his name, I'm going to get free pizza. So I'm mentioning his name because I can't
All
let
of
go.
us? All of us or
Hey,
just
all
you?
of us.
Yeah,
Why
Dave's
not?
good for it. He's good for it.
Why not? I know you have a question to ask Gail.
Yeah, so Gail, you've been through a lot in your life, but you're here.
I'm here.
You've sustained it yourself through everything. Tell us, what's your outlook? What is it about? What have you done to make you you?
I think that the advice that I gave you prior to this, where you must never give up, that was my dad. When I was in the hospital and all of the attention wavered, the flowers were gone, I had a lot of surgeries because of the breast cancer and given 30% chance of survival. And I remember that everybody left after 3 weeks. I was 25 years old, just turned 26 when I had the surgery. And my dad was a Golden Glover. And my dad saw everybody leaving, and this may have been the 3rd week. I was still hospitalized with infections, and they did grafting and other things as well. I made it my business to visit the children and then to give my flowers to the elderly who were in the hospital, because I knew if I could communicate, I would feel so much better. But one day when everybody left, my dad just sat and just looked at me. I still get very emotional about this. My dad is deceased many years. He was my best friend. And everybody left, and my dad was walking out. And I said, Dad, you have never lied to me. And he said, no, and I never will. And I said to my dad, I need to know if you think I'm going to die, I'm going to live, because I'm going to pray that I have the dignity to handle this if I don't make it. And as my dad was walking out, he stopped and he turned around, and I saw tears. And I kept it together, and as he continued to walk, he turned again, and he said, you'll make it. And I said, but Dad, how do you know this? And he raised his hand, as only a Golden Glover could do, and he said, because I won't let you. And I thought, if this man could believe that much in me, and my mom could dress me in a peignoir set with a white ribbon and lipstick on and tubes and machines hooked up to me, then I could do it. We need people to believe in us. That is
100%
paramount.
agreed. That's huge.
My philosophy, though, did come from, and you can take the word cancer out, you can apply it to anything. It's 30 seconds, if I may, because this helped me. You must never give up, no matter what. This philosophy served me well when I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 25. After many surgeries, doctors had given me less than 30% chance of survival. But by keeping a positive attitude and maintaining a balance spiritually, physically, and emotionally, I fought this disease.
And you're better than ever, Gail.
And because of that, I'm here today celebrating life. Just when you think it's so bad. I lost my husband to pancreatic cancer. A lot of people don't know that. He was a policeman, a police captain. And he said to me before he died, I want you to know something. There's a dial, and here it is at 12 o'clock, and you're on top of the world. And we were. Everything was just fabulous. He said, but understand, when that dial goes to the right and it starts to go down, things are going to affect you. I want you to remember, because there may come a low point in your life, and I want you to remember that too. When you're down there, and I've told this to my students who have gone through difficult times, you will get back up. Stay with it. There is a tomorrow. The sun does come out again. And as you go back up, understand that this is the pattern. So don't give up. You have no idea what better things are out there for you. And helping others.
I never... Listen, I'm a huge believer in inspirational. I've been through hell and back in my past before I finally found my calling. And, I read a book called 3 Feet from Gold, okay, by the name of Greg Reed. And that truly saved me. And I've read many, many inspirational books and try to get my life together. And there's so many people that I need to thank, one being my co-host here that has stuck through with me to the end. But the point that I'm getting to is the fact that through all of this, I have never heard anybody do that analogy like you did.
Oh my
You
goodness.
start at the 12 o'clock, and that's powerful stuff. I I'm talking to people as they're watching us here, and I literally had to stop and listen to it because just and this is for anybody, not just our veterans and military, and if I may, I'm just going to really repeat it in a sense because it truly is amazing. It's the concept of it is you're the clock and you start at 12 o'clock and there's going to be times where you're just going to keep falling and falling and falling, but when you have that support system and you have people that believe in you, there's always ways back, and you always continue the clock going up, and that's truly emotional.
Because the hands only go down to 6. After 6, they start going back up to
Without
12.
question,
And
and you two are other people that I need to thank as well, and I know a lot of veterans and active military families out there. You want to thank people, and here's the show to do it. Here's the show to do it. If you have an inspirational story like Gail, like Shelly, and you want to be on our show and want to reach out and to thank those that have actually helped you, that's what we are. Yes, we are an entertainment show, but we're an education show. We're an inspirational show. We are a show where we can get people like Gail and Shelly on here and really tell their story. And I know we only have 3 minutes left, but that was powerful. What do you
Very
think?
powerful. And it's the kind of people that you associate yourself with. And I can just say that I'm proud to say I know you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Many people go through life saying, "Oh, I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends." We really don't have a lot of friends. We have a lot of acquaintances.
Amen
and
to that.
And as we talked about before, the important people in your life are there to support you. So when you are down, they're there to help you up. And that's, again, going back to our message, Michael and my message to all the veterans out there. We really are here to help you. And we're not, as Shelly put it before, we're not here to make a buck.
Right, that's
Sell
right.
to a Veteran is a 501c3 not-for-profit corporation. We're out here for the veterans and the active military men and women to show you the way to realize the American dream of home ownership.
And if I could just say, if people who are watching, that if you want to see, if you have a house to sell and you want to see a reward to help veterans, give it to these two guys.
Right.
Give it
Be
to these two.
perfect.
These guys will make sure that the right thing is done to help the veterans, to help people get their feet back on the ground and their lives back in order so that they can become the pillars of society that they want to become. The society that they put their ass on the line to defend. Give it to these guys.
Amen to that.
Yeah,
And let
I
me just
appreciate that.
bootstrap onto that. I'm proud to say, and I may have said it in a prior show, we had this very huge ex-Marine. We did a closing. We of the closing room.
Uplifting.
He walked over to me and gave me a hug, almost broke every bone in my back, but said, you've changed my life. And, I'll tell you something. There's nothing better than that. Nothing
right.
better. All the money in the world
That's right.
is nothing compared to someone saying, look what you've done for me. And that's what we're all about here.
Well, Gail and I, we've been together almost 20 years now. And as a kid growing up in
Wow.
Brooklyn, as a kid growing up in
Really?
Brooklyn, I only cared about fun and myself. And living with Gail in the 20 years has taught me one very important thing:
Uh-oh.
caring about people.
Yeah, thank you.
Because she lives her life. I learned that from her, but she lives her life that way, caring for people.
And me knowing you, Gail, as well, and I'll wrap it up on my end here.
Eulogize.
If you've been
Eulogizing.
watching or listening to our shows for the past 6 weeks or so, everyone that we've had on had to do something with Brian's and my success up to this point. Every single person that we've had on to this show, may not be a direct contact to a veteran, but every single one of them on our show has been a success story in our life.
A guiding light.
And that's what we wanted to do. Moving forward, we're going to have veterans on our show and stories, but to start off the Veterans Entertainment Talk Show, and what we wanted to do for the first few weeks is to have inspirational people like Gail and Shelly that have gotten us to this point. So, what I'm going to say, and I'll wrap it up, and I'll have Brian wrap it up with you, is thank you to both. You know,
Thank you for
thank you
having
to both.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
My
And
pleasure.
Thank you.
I personally, as my mic is shifting, I personally would not be here mentally, or I would not be here financially when it comes to the company that we've built without the two of you. And
Yeah,
you've
you
been
would've.
you've been
You
more
would've.
you've been and I'm not just saying this because we're on air,
No.
okay? And I know you and I know that you've heard this before, but I'm saying this to you because I want the other veterans and active military families out there to really understand. And this is what this is what this show was about today.
Right.
You need somebody in your life to get you to that next level.
A go-to
You need an
guy.
advocate. You need someone to support you, someone to believe in you. You know, and without further ado, I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank you.
I'll let Brian wrap the show up.
Thank you.
I suggest, I expect us to be friends forever.
Without a doubt.
Brian?
Well,
Without a doubt.
I really can't say more than what you've just said, but as an attorney, there's always something I can say, which is this.
That nobody pays attention to.
Right.
As an attorney,
To have two of you in our corner means the world to us.
thank you.
Thank you
And,
very
and,
much.
and we
We're so
appreciate
pleased
that
to
every
be part
day.
of it. And Eric, thank you for all you do
Thank
too.
you.
I just have to say, with regards to Shelly, it's like, you know, Shelly will give me affirmations, you know, and he makes you feel good. He really does. He makes you, because you know, he's not a selfish individual. He's one
No,
of these,
he's
he's one of these
not.
people that, like, you know, when he calls you friend, you are a friend. And that's a beautiful
Selfless.
thing. And I
I
think
don't
that
use that
it-
term loosely.
Right, and he says that. That's the first thing he told me. One of the first thing he told me when he met me, he said, "I charge $100 to become your friend."
No refunds. No refunds.
No.
No refunds.
No, he said I don't. He says I call you friend, and I don't use that term loosely, and I appreciate that, you know. And it's like, you know, and how I compare that to a veteran or to a military personnel is the camaraderie that we have between each other. You have to have each other's back. If you don't know that the person next to you is going to have to, I don't want to use the word kill somebody for you, but that might be the case someday. They might have to save your life. That's a true friend. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when you could trust somebody like you trust Shelly and Gail, that's a good thing. That's a
you.
bond. That's a friendship. That's what veterans have. That's what military people have. So that's my take from today. You
And
know,
I think that's a perfect way to end it. Happy Easter to those that celebrate.
Happy
We're
Passover
on-
to those who celebrate that.
Yes, we're on next Thursday, 2 p.m. VeteranSEntertainmentTalkShow.com. Have a good time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.